Welcome back to Senate Education. We have a real treat today. We're looking at S304, an act relating to support Vermont's young readers, but specifically, we are looking at the Imagination Library part of the bill. We have an all-star team, including our former colleague, Senator Cheryl Hooker, who used to serve on this committee. But we're going to kick it off with Nora Briggs. We're very excited, Ms. Briggs, to virtually welcome you to Vermont. Where are we finding you?
Actually, today I'm in Palm Beach. I'm in Palm Beach, Florida today.
Wow. Okay. Same weather down there, I'm sure, that we're experiencing up here in Vermont.
Maybe just a tad different. I was hoping to join you today in person, but the travel just did not work out.
Well, it's very kind of you to take the time. We're thrilled to have you here, albeit virtually, and if you ever are in Vermont, we hope you will take the time and come visit us here at the State House. It would be a real pleasure to welcome you. But we're excited to hear your thoughts on the bill that's been put together, as well as we likely will have some questions. So please, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you. So let me first by saying that Dolly sends her greetings, and she thanks you for considering expansion of her Imagination Library across to all young learners in Vermont. And we agree, nothing is more basic, more essential, more foundational to a child's success in life than the ability to read. The research in science is very clear. We cannot wait for kindergarten for children to have access and exposure to books and reading. We need to reach them early. And reading at this age, under 5, happens primarily at home. And reading at home requires books. And we know that not all families have access nor can provide books. So this is where we can help. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is a contactless home book gifting program for children 0 to age 5, their 5th birthday. They receive an age appropriate down to the month age, high quality book with their name on it every month at home, no cost to the family. And we know that books in the home lead to increased kindergarten readiness, changes in the home literacy environment, with families connecting around the book and all family members focused on reading. Significantly stronger reading, math, and science academic outcomes, both starting in 3rd grade and continuing on. We track children all the way through kindergarten, higher high school graduation rates. We know that simply getting the books into the home starts the change in the trajectory of the lives of the kids and families and communities. A statewide program provides more benefits to the state than a collection of local programs. County level program partners ensure statewide coverage for all zip codes, equitable access for all families to early learning resources. Children start kindergarten with a shared experience and helps level the playing field. This creates a shared bond with children across neighborhoods, communities, race, and economic differences. It starts to help break the division at an age when children notice the differences between themselves and other children. They all receive the same books. It's a special gift. It's an instant bonding. We partner with state agencies to find the most vulnerable and underrepresented families. Special program for foster care children, babies born to parents who are in a correctional or other type of facilities, and that could be an adult or a youth who has a child under 5. Working with WIC and other agencies to find the families that most need help to have books in their home. We partner with the state birthing hospitals to enroll at birth. Children come in right when they're born, receiving a book every month, so they can have a collection of 60 books into their home by the time they graduate out. Partnership with the State Department of Education, if you like, to flag Imagination Library participants. Most states put a flag on the student master record card, which indicates that they were in Imagination Library. That helps track participants, tracks also the return on investment by the state and program effectiveness. We find that schools also use it to plan the remedial and one-on-one tutoring that's necessary in kindergarten based on the saturation rates of children getting books in the school districts. Partnership with the state and local library system, right, with the aim to tie and focus library usage for all family members. All families that have library cards with children under 5 in Imagination Library, all children and families with children should have local library cards. Ties to adult literacy and dual language programs. We place a multi-generational focus on literacy, as the best way to learn to read is children's picture books. Best way to learn a new language, children's picture books. And it's simple. We're connecting adult literacy to the books that are coming into the home. We can sometimes do a fun state level focus on family time and reading. One example is the Drive with Dolly license plate campaign. We put Dolly's face on a license plate in the state of Vermont. We focus on reading. We do billboard campaigns. And of course, all the funds generated that would come back to a community go to the local program partner to help pay for their local community share. There's also at a state program an opportunity if you like to layer on other family resources. Some states do book buses using the Imagination Library books and then connecting and partnering them with food and medical. Statewide programs are special. We also do story time out in the parks with the Department of Recs and bring books into the community, people to the parks, all focused on reading and family fun. State programs work at a state level to fundraise and help local communities, so there are never children on waiting list. And if there's a budget deficit in a coming year, they have mitigation funds to ensure that the program continues. A statewide program ensures equitable access, providing increased opportunity for improving statewide kindergarten readiness, academic achievement, and creates a state focus on literacy. But really, the program is special. Dolly calls this is her heart program. It really is about connecting hearts in the home, in the families, connecting to each other with snuggling and cuddling that happens. The book is the tool. It's about creating a love, a sense of security and comfort that comes from the book, coming into the home. And really, Dolly just wants to help create a love for books and reading and make sure that every Vermont child has access to equitable access in books and learning, really providing the best start they can have in education and in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Briggs. And well, just after you started, Senator Starr joined us, and he's the lead sponsor of this initiative. And so he may have some questions as we go along as well. Any questions for Ms. Briggs from the who's with the Dollywood Foundation at this point? Any questions? You have any questions?
Well, is Nora going to be with us?
Yeah, you're going to be able to stick around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Top priority for Dolly and the foundation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Terrific. So now we are shifting and we have Ms. Campbell, Shire Kids Vermont.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for including me today. I'm really grateful to be here.
Please go ahead. Did you have some testimony that you wanted to share with us?
I do. I'll proceed. So thank you to the Committee on Education for hearing my testimony in support of Senator Starr's bill. I also want to thank Senator Brian Campion for your ongoing and dedicated support of early literacy in Southern Vermont, and Representative Kathleen James for guiding my earliest explorations of seeking a statewide Imagination Library, and Representative Woody Page for his earnest attempt at a statewide program 2 years ago with House Bill H636. I'm Nicole Campbell, Executive Director of Shire Kids. We're the local affiliate for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. We serve Bennington County, Western Windham County, and a few proximal towns in Rutland and Windsor counties for a current total enrollment of 1,114 children in Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. So my written testimony includes more information on my background, how I became involved in the Imagination Library, and I really appreciate the committee's time to read through all of the submitted written testimony from me, and I know several others who have prepared written testimony. But for now, I want to focus on how Dolly Parton's Imagination Library can impact children all around Vermont. Nora just shared so much useful and helpful information on how the Dollywood Foundation works directly with the states, and evidence of the value and success of the Imagination Library in helping literacy is overwhelming. The Dollywood Foundation focuses on identifying common outcomes for all Imagination Library programs. So this means that the impact of this program in Vermont will reflect successes seen in other states with longstanding statewide programs. Research-based outcomes that are documented through several studies on the DPIL website reflect how this program establishes building blocks for lifelong literacy and how it supports the research on evidence-based literacy. So I'm so grateful, Senator Starr, that this program, the statewide Imagination Library program, is being proposed within a comprehensive bill to improve how children in Vermont are taught how to read. In a 7 Days article written by Allison Novak from last fall, neuroscience professor Reed Lyon told a group of lawmakers that effective teaching should begin with clear, systematic instruction in the sounds that are contained within words and how those sounds connect to print. Building that strong foundation in those two skills, known as phonemic awareness and phonics, is an essential step to becoming a successful reader. And the National Reading Panel considers phonemic awareness and phonics, along with vocabulary, comprehension, and fluency, the 5 pillars of effective reading instruction. So this brings me back to Imagination Library books. So every parent has heard that you are your child's first teacher. And in fact, engaging parents and families is an important policy position at the Vermont Agency of Education. Families are empowered to be a better teacher to their children with Imagination Library books. Each book, and I see you have one right in front of you, Senator Starr, by a local author, they have a front or back panel with guidance on how to make the books come alive. The books have expert but accessible guides to help parents engage with their children by introducing elements of the 5 pillars of effective reading instruction, even before the child is explicitly taught how to read. One of the books selected by the Blue Ribbon Book Selection Committee is Shh, They're Sleeping by our Northeast Kingdom author, James Martin. He shared with the local Northeast Kingdom affiliate that the special book flaps are added to some of the best picture books in the world and remind parents that young children learn through play. So through a combination of play and introducing elements of the 5 pillars of effective reading instructions, children will have increased early literacy behaviors, which is a foundation for school success. A Scholastic Research compendium found that 61% of low-income families have no children's books at home. Having books in the home leads to more reading. California professor of early literacy, Dr. Susan Neufeld, who was an early supporter and she was an important leader in the introduction of a statewide program for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library in California, she shared her research showing evidence that providing books to children that they own is highly impactful. A study done by Clark and Poulton for the National Literacy Trust, which explored the correlation between book ownership and behaviors and attitudes of children toward reading, found that children who own books were more likely to visit the library, enjoy reading, and read more frequently. Children who did not own books, did not enjoy reading, did not visit the library. So without access to books of their own, young people were less likely to have positive experiences of reading, less likely to do well at school, and less likely to be engaged in reading of any form. Imagination Library books are owned by Vermont children and will stay with them even if they move in with grandparents, an aunt or uncle, or spend time with a foster family. Again, I'm so grateful, and thank you to Senator Starr. Thank you to the Senate Education Committee. Thank you, Ms. Nora Briggs, for your presence here today, and everyone I've worked with over the past 5 years who love helping young children prepare for life.
Thank you, Nicole. And I remember you filled me in on this years ago now. Time flies. So it's great of you to be with us and talk to us a little bit about the successes it's had down in our neck of the woods. I think we are now shifting to, I think, Ms. Gamble.
I didn't know, Cheryl, if you wanted to say a few words before I jump in, or...
Whatever works for you, Cheryl. No, whatever works.
That might be a good idea because I really have the least experience here with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. I'm on the committee with Joan. Joan is our chair, but I'm learning so much listening to Miss Briggs and to Miss Campbell. This is such a wonderful program. And I just wanted to say a couple of things about it. First of all, thank you, Senator Starr, for introducing this and bringing it to the Ed Committee, and for the Ed Committee adopting this and making it part of your more comprehensive literacy improvement bill that you have going through. It's this easily accessible, cost-effective program that extends from cradle to kindergarten is proved to establish a culture of literacy, not only for our youngest students, but their families as well. As Ms. Briggs and Ms. Campbell have pointed out, families will read. I know my own children read to their children, and they have lots of time together, snuggling, but also snackling, as my granddaughter will say, because she's always looking for some cookies. But this is the type of engagement we want to see in all families. I just want to add a little bit to what Ms. Campbell was saying about the article that Allison Novak did back in October of 2023. She said that today only about half of the Vermont third graders in our state read proficiently. And the results are far worse for children of color and those with disabilities or living in poverty. So this program really would ensure that our kids are getting a better foundation before they even get to school. She went on to say that the stakes are high. Low literacy is linked to a host of negative effects, including poor health, poverty, and incarceration. And there are less obvious costs. Being unable to read proficiently causes deep hurt and shame. So as I said, I'm new to this program and I'm happy to be part of it, but I know a lot less than these three wonderful women here. So I'll just hand it over to Joan to let her talk a little bit about what we've been doing in Rutland.
Well, thank you. I'm Joan Gamble, and I'm a strategic change consultant and the champion of the Imagination Library at the Rutland Free Library. I'm honored to testify in favor of this bill, especially in front of two senators from Rutland County, Senator Weeks and Senator Williams. I learned about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, or DPIL, in December of 2020 during the pandemic, when I read an article about the Imagination Library in Brandon. And my first reaction was, Brandon? What about Rutland? And so I spoke to Kyle Hutchins, who started the Brandon program during his paternity leave after learning that his baby was not eligible for the program that was offered in Addison County. As a strategic change consultant who works a lot with nonprofits, I knew the questions to ask before starting a new program. The same questions you should ask as you consider this bill. Is there a need? Is this program the best way to fill the need? Are there others filling the need? And what does it take to run a program? After extensive due diligence about the DPIL, it became clear to me that this was an evidence-based program that would cost-effectively address literacy issues. Investing in early literacy is the key to addressing overall literacy problems, since 90% of brain development occurs in the first 3 years of a child's life. The logic model supporting DPIL, which I attached to my written testimony, shows kindergarten readiness is a key outcome of the program. DPIL has a database of 39 research reports on their website, imaginationlibrary.com, showing that kindergarten readiness affects children, especially at-risk children, in the short term and the long term. A study by the Arkansas Department of Education tracked children who participated in the program versus those who did not participate. And participating children showed 29% increase in kindergarten readiness, but also significantly stronger reading skills and higher reading achievement tests over non-participating peers consistently through 3rd grade. The Kansas Emporia School District followed participating and non-participating children and showed consistently higher performance all the way through 9th grade. In talking to education and social service agencies, it became apparent that there was no other organization filling this need in the Rutland area. My next step was to figure out what it really takes to run a local program. DPIL has a detailed handbook of what's needed to run a program. In addition, people running other local affiliates like Nicole Campbell, who runs the Shire Kids, serving Bennington County and is testifying today, were a tremendous help. To start a program, you need a partner with a local 501c3 or a library or a school so that you can have access to the bulk mailing rate. I chose the Rutland Free Library as a partner to serve the 5 towns in their catchment area: Rutland City, Rutland Town, Mendon, Tinmouth, and Ira. In order to start a program, the local affiliates need to raise funds to cover at least the first 6 months of operating the program. I gave numerous presentations to local organizations showing how cost-effective it was due to economies of scale provided by partnering with the Dolly Parton Foundation. As a result, I was able to enlist the support of the United Way of Rutland County and 2 local Rotary clubs, and sustaining support from Rutland City Schools, who use federal monies to reimburse us the cost of mailing books to participating children in Rutland City every month. Since we began mailing books in April of 2021, we've mailed 12,507 free books to children in the 5 towns. We are currently mailing 460 books to 460 children every month. Our dedicated team of volunteers, including Cheryl, is focused on getting all children under 5 in the 5 towns we serve to participate, especially at-risk children. This requires ongoing marketing efforts since every month children graduate on their 5th birthday, so we need to keep finding new children to participate. We do this through ongoing marketing efforts via Facebook, newspaper articles, being visible at local events like National Night Out, local public access television, and by partnering with local agencies like the Birthing Center at Rutland Regional Medical Center, local pediatric offices, schools, and local daycares. We especially focus our efforts on getting at-risk children to participate by encouraging all agencies like DCF, the Parent Child Center, and Head Start to sign up children. We pay extra to have the post office mail us undelivered books, and then we've been collaborating with the Rutland Homeless Prevention Center to give books to children experiencing homelessness, since they do not have an address for us to mail them books. I enthusiastically support your bill and the effort to bring the Dolly Parton Imagination Library to all children under 5 in the state. The Dollywood Foundation partnership makes the program incredibly cost-effective and easy to administer to achieve these evidence-based results. Thank you.
Thank you. That's great testimony. Questions for any of our guests or witnesses? Ms. Briggs, if you don't mind, I'm wondering how many have other states moved in this direction of sort of doing it statewide?
Yes, we currently have 20 states that have long-term state commitment with us. We're getting ready to launch the state of Oregon, which will make our 21st state. And I have 8 other states that are pursuing legislation and looking at this as part of their own state's literacy focus. We're basically a tool in your toolkit.
Right.
What we're good at is getting books in the home.
Yeah, that's great. Other questions? Senator Stark.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is you just heard the best testimony I've heard in regards to this, from Nora to Nicole. These people have been doing the heavy lifting, and, you've heard the results, and, most of you in here don't know me very well, I wouldn't say, other than from the last few months, other than your chair. But I've been here a long time, and I don't take subject matters lightly. If I'm gonna put my name on a bill, it's a bill that's capable of passing this institution that we're all part of. And over the years, or I should back up and say, last summer when I was approached about this particular bill, and if you look, you'll see the number on my bill is quite a lot higher than if I'd introduced it right away. And that was because I was doing a lot of research on the bill before I put my name on it. And, in all that research, I didn't find one negative aspect to it. Every bit of it was positive. And I spent a lot of years on local school board and supervisory union, all the things that we do before we get here. And, you read any statistic and our children are not learning very well. And I think that's why Brian and you folks have put together a strong literacy bill to try to outdo that and get our children back to reading and understanding the English language and being able to converse with people. And I couldn't find one bad thing about this bill and about the Dolly Parton Foundation. And I just think for the money that, our budget's $8.6 billion, and 100,000, 150 grand is pretty small numbers to take a chance on helping our children so they aren't incarcerated and they don't spend their day in the principal's office or wherever they keep them now. It used to be the principal's office when I was on the school board. But if we get them started right, kids aren't born bad. But you take and just put a little electronic machine in front of them when they're babies and they get used to pushing buttons instead of listening to the stories being read to them, you're going to end up with children. Well, we're ending up with them. And so I just want to, commend Nora for being on today, and the other three women. And Cheryl, we spent quite a few years together. And when Cheryl was here as a rep and as a senator, so she knows the story anyways. But boy, I can't think of another issue that would be as important as this one, helping our children into the future.
Ms. Briggs, I don't know how well you know Senator Starr, but he has been a big advocate for children his entire career. And I would also say children that don't always come with as much as other children, moderate, low income kids, recognizing their needs.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Senator Starr, and thank you, committee. One of the reasons this program really works well is it is a gift. It is not a charity. That's why we ask for the state to partner with the communities in a 50-50 public-private partnership. The Dollywood Foundation pays a vast majority of the cost, but we do want a small community piece because Dolly feels that if you give away something for free, people don't always value it as much. They don't have skin in the game. So we love partnering with local communities that care about getting books right into the homes and hearts of their family members in their communities. And at a state level, when you offer it for all children, your grandchildren and nieces and nephews and your own children of all ages in all communities, it's that gift element. It's the gift from the state of Vermont. It's the gift from a local community and from Dolly that really helps make it work. Most states that come in, their goal is to get to 65 or 70% of all the 0 to 5 children. That's a lot of children. Right now, we're about 18% of all the children. So we think about every month that goes by, there's a child who's aging 5 and won't get a book in this program, may not have any books in their home. So we thank you for supporting, just even considering it and thinking about it. We've got a lot of experience over the last 30 years doing it with states in conjunction with our local program partners. And the goal is to make it feel special. The goal is to find, and that's what brings in the underrepresented families. We have lots of states who will let us know that they get families who kind of come back and say, we've been getting a book every month from Dolly. We got it at the hospital. And what else do you have for our families? What else do you have for my kids that are like this? You build this wonderful relationship because there's no means test. There's no proving you should have a book or need a book. It comes as a gift as a parent opts in. Some states are getting focused on doing a birth certificate enrollment. So when families enroll it for the birth certificate, it's an opt-in right there when they're getting the birth certificate. That way they know that kids are getting it. But it's just this wonderful gift that comes from the state, partnered with the local community. All children get it from all communities. And sometimes we get some of the feedback about children who have books and can afford them. This is where that shared gift, kids coming to kindergarten from communities that are gated communities, maybe HUD homing, farms, rural communities, suburban, urban, they've all gotten the same book. It levels the playing field. You're my best friend. I've got that book. That's my favorite book too. It changes the dynamic right when they come to kindergarten. It's really the place they learn other people have more or less than themselves. It's just one of those very rare, feel-good things to work on. This is my dream job. I came in after corporate sector. I don't have a background in education. I'm a passionate about reading and lifelong learning. But I know that when you make something feel special, people treat it special, and we get to bring in the families that they just don't know they need it yet, right? But when we help them find the program and they sign up and it's free and they don't have to prove that they need it, that's the special gift that lasts. This is a legacy item. This is something really special. Oh, we're super excited.
And the
at
books
the foundation.
the books are beautiful, I have to say, absolutely beautiful, yeah.
I thought David Martin, the guy from West Perth.
And he wrote to us also, he
Oh, he
sent
did?
some emails in your packet.
I was wondering, do many of the hospitals in other states get involved where they sign the parents up right away?
Yes, they
It's a
do.
wonderful thing for our hospitals. We only got 14.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'd like to go back to Ms. Briggs' comments about the shared interest in the books, the bonds, and maybe you can talk about the book that the kids get when they graduate and what that does to their first day of kindergarten when some teachers ask.
That's good. Thank you. So the first book they get, regardless of what age they come into the program, is The Little Engine That Could, which is one of Dolly's favorite. And what it does, it sets the tone for the program. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Then they get a book that's age appropriate down to their month. It is a national book gifting program. So children across the entire United States, if they are 28 months old, they get the same book. We do not collect demographic data, economic data, gender data. This is about inspiring a love of books and reading. And they get a book a month. And on their 5th birthday, they get a letter from Dolly. They also get an email with a graduation song right to the child, which basically tells them to keep reading, dreaming, learning, being more, caring more, so they can be something. They ask them to go down to the local library if they're not already, to make sure they get a library card. And when they get to school, to make sure the first thing they do is go to the library, check out a book at school, keep learning. But that last book they get is Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come, which prepares them for the change in being at home and learning in the home environment to learning in a school. And a lot of kindergarten teachers around the country, that's the book they hold up on the first day. And they know immediately which kids have gotten the same book. They can almost start to segment the children that are going to need more help based on that. I've got that book. It's my favorite book. And they know that they've been prepared. And meanwhile, you've got the heart piece. I don't ever want to forget the heart piece, because it is, if we all think back to how, if we have good memories of reading, a lot of it probably started on the parents, on the laps of our parents or grandparents, people we love. And part of the specialness of the program is the fact that the book is the tool, and families are gathering together around that when they're little, and it's singing and talking and hugging and snuggling, and they're reading. And it's the sense of feeling of comfort and security that I like that. It comes with the reading. You're imprinting the good feel around reading. We recently saw a survey that's being published very soon around kids are reading less for fun. They're not enjoying reading, and they're actually not reading for fun. And somewhere along the line, they're thinking about skills and drills and all the things that come academically. But having the book in the home where it's just about reading and snuggling and making fun of words and different voices and all of these things helps cement just so simply. I mean, I remember where I fell in love with reading. It was on my grandfather's lap. I remember it. I remember the sense of comfort and security. And I just became a reader. And I do believe readers typically have higher success in life because they can read. And we just want that for everybody to have access to it. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Ms. Briggs. Any other questions for our guests today? Thank you all. Ms. Briggs, please, from all of us, thank Ms. Parton. I mean, she has done so much, and this is just another example. And please extend a warm welcome, extend our invitation for her to come for a warm welcome if she's ever in Vermont or would like to come to Vermont. And we extend the same invitation to you. Of course, we'd love to have you here at the State House and show you our state.
When we do the signing.
Senator Starr, right, when the governor signs the bill, Senator Starr will send. And if Dolly Parton has any questions, I'll give you Senator Starr's cell phone number. He will answer it at any time for Dolly Parton. Maybe not for some of us, but for Dolly Parton, I know he will pick up.
That's thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. Thank you,
Right.
Cheryl. Thanks, Joan. Thanks, Nicole. Great to see all of you. It was terrific.
This lady walked in with me. Did you just start a program in St. Albans?
For the record, Amy Johnson, I'm from Vermont Care Partners, but I was formerly at the Parent Child Center up at NCSS in St. Albans. And after my daughter went through 5 years of the Dolly program, and still now 8.5, she reads every night, all the time. She's a big reader.
It's great.
Up in St. Albans, we said, how can we get more books to kids? How can we make sure that everybody builds this type of library? And so we started it, it's during the pandemic, and it's been running for almost 3 years now, and we have probably 2,000 kids enrolled. It supports all of Franklin County, all of Grand Isle County, hugely successful, and probably one of the most things I'm the most proud of starting up at the Parent Child Center in St. Albans before I left. So not there anymore, but about 2,000. Yeah. And when we enrolled, when you go and I met with a rep from Dolly's, the national team, and we said, well, this is like how much it's gonna cost you each year, because this is how much what percentage we project each year signing up. When we launched the program, there were already people on a waiting list in those 2 counties waiting to be enrolled. So they automatically, like, immediately you had at least 200 kids enrolled. And we went from, we did not follow the like 5-year trend line. We just went straight up and had, you know, like over 50% within the first maybe 2 years. So it's an incredible program. Everybody who I interface with, I was the director of the Parent Child Center, but I kept hold of being the coordinator for the Dolly program. So I was the one who personally enrolled everybody and got to interface with the families. Nobody has a negative thing to say about it. It is fantastic. Just an all-star program, super supportive of kids, of families. So I'm really excited. I had to find time in my day today doing Vermont Care Partners stuff to be here to listen in, and just really excited about the folks who were able to testify. I've worked on and off with these folks for the past couple of years as we've been trying to get this off the ground for the state. So thank you very much to the committee and to Senator Starr.
Thank you.
Well,
for
they would
stopping
have
by.
done it anyways. I just happened to have my name on the fill.
Any final comments from Joan, Nicole, or Cheryl before we close? Okay, thank you all for joining us. We're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Thank you.
You'll take us off.
Guys.